ballet garden.
Yeah.
And today I think we're all going to be well behaved.
We're going to be very well behaved. we're not going to interrupt, you know. We're not going to interrupt, you know. With,
nobody's going to tie your tellus to.
Yeah, gosh.
But I was disappointed, right? You didn't throw candies at anybody last night.
I thought it'd be an insult to the adults if I started throwing candies and chocolate bars. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But it was fun last night.
It was good fun. You know, the musicians certainly added a dimension to it. It was
yeah.
So they had musicians too. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
with wind instruments.
Yeah.
And kazoos, possibly kazoos.
We had one guy plays the accordion, and Billy played the trombone. It was really very nice.
Probably when it began at 7, right?
It started at 7. We started about 7:10, 7:15. You know, it was interesting. Elizabeth said last night it was the first Simchat Torah that we actually had dinner at home. That we've been here, because normally after services we'd go downstairs to the hall and have festive dinner. So.
Yes, that's something that's going to be very missed. And probably for a while. It'll be interesting to see when the next dinner and shul happens.
Yeah.
Well, I still have my fingers crossed for next year, this time next year.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, my favorite restaurant in Florida is a chain. It's called Sweet Tomatoes, and it's a buffet.
Oh, yeah?
And they closed. They just realized
How
that
did
they went out of business. They didn't even go out of business. They closed because serving a buffet, I mean, the centerpiece of their whole
Right.
business is a buffet.
Right, yeah.
You know, you can't stay open.
But they're
What are they
people
gonna-
are limited to, they're going to innovate. They're going to innovate. They're going to change the way they do things. And there's going to be a new concept that comes out of it.
I think it would be.
That might be stronger, that might be, I mean, maybe it's a buffet and everyone has their own utensils to serve themselves. I mean, I don't know what's going to come out of it, but.
There'll be something.
Yeah.
Were you ever in this particular restaurant?
No.
Okay, I can tell you that particular restaurant was amazing.
Yeah,
You're talking about a salad bar that's got like 200 salads.
yeah, it was
It's
as
not
long as
10 or
the
20, and desserts and everything. It's just unbelievable. And they had it right, and they were making fresh constantly, but they needed the turnover.
And it was $13.
Unless you're an early bird and you got the coupon.
I remember that.
The people
Not
are
Florida.
people are ready to kill themselves.
What
thinking about
happens
that.
to those places, Billy? That's a good question.
But they
Beg your pardon?
change.
What happens to are they still in business?
Well,
They closed.
according to Norm, he said they're just closed.
And I mean, everybody knows that I'm such an addict of sweet tomatoes. When my mom was alive and lived down there, she used to limit me to twice a week.
My parents introduced us to this place, and my eyes are glazing over, like I'm going to go with them to a salad bar. I've never seen a salad bar like this.
But I'm
So what
saying that
happens?
they're
You're right. They'll be victims, but I have to side with Norm on this.
But I'm not saying that they'll be gone
What
forever.
do they
All
do
I'm
now?
saying
No,
is
maybe they'll be able to.
They closed. They're gone.
Not open.
And
No.
the whole
Wow.
chain. And I used to know where Sweet Tomatoes were. The northernmost Sweet Tomatoes is in a suburb just north of Raleigh, North Carolina. And I would follow them like all the way up the eastern seaboard. And it's, and I knew I had my favorite interiors. I didn't like the one in Orlando.
Wait, I have a question. Was it
Yeah.
a franchise or was it corporate or?
I don't know. I have a feeling it was more franchise because I knew the two managers. I think Billy probably went to the same one that I did in Boca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many locations did they have?
They had about 75 or something.
Oh, a lot.
There was a change, it was a,
So now, if, I'm thinking, because
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking that this particular management was not doing enough, or they weren't strong enough to innovate.
well,
How do you just
But
do?
their whole model, darling, was
Okay,
make your own salads.
yeah,
That's like telling a dentist
Yeah,
that they have to change or innovate completely. There's some things that you can change,
right,
there's some things that you cannot change, or you can only modify slightly. And even if they had a takeout system, the nature of that thing, the dominant, the overwhelming thing, was an eating experience, that it was self-serve, and it was highly successful. There are salad bar takeout places, especially in New York, you see a ton of them. And that model probably has flourished.
right, but like, if I have, I'm saying if that was my business, and I would think if that was your business, if you had the finances to change, it could be that the restaurant is open for 50 people, whatever the max is, and there are people who serve you, like you go and say, I want that, like a pizza pita. They completely changed. So they have some, you walk through with them and you say this, or this. You don't touch anything, and then let's say you take a seat over there. Then the next customer comes in, I want this, or this, and you ring a bell and you want more, you ring a bell, you come back, somebody helps you. I mean, you could innovate. But to close down.
It depends on how many people you need to make it profitable.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
in any case, they closed. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't think that anybody that was involved in that thing from the beginning needed it for the money. You know, it may have also been a case, certainly that one, it had been around, it gone through a couple of owners too. It had been around
Sweet tomato?
for 30
There's another one
years,
too I've
something
heard
like
of,
that.
not sweet tomato, was there another one?
Plantation, something, it was the same, the two chains had amalgamated. But, yeah, and we'll see, I mean, but for me, it was, it
That's
would be
too bad,
regretted.
anyway, it's too
Yeah.
bad.
It really was, so well done, and I would have thought before COVID that if someone would open up something like this in Montreal, they would be instantly successful.
Well, there
Pizza
is-
pita? No?
No, there is something, but it's,
This is.
Okay,
it's
on
highly
both sides,
safe.
on both sides, we're gonna start with our halal service, page 733. Please rise, page 733. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirishanu v'tzazav v'tzivanu likro es ha'halel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, to Adonai. Mekimi me'afadal me'ashpaus yarim evian ashir diviyim netivei amo mo'eshivi hakeres habayis mo'eshivi דוחלים גבעות חיבני צום
וצאת ישראל ממצרים, בית יעקב מהארץ.
מלך היום כי זנו Israel v'tach b'Adonai Yisrael maginamu Beis Aharon v'tchu Adonai Yisrael maginamu Yirei Adonai v'tchu Adonai Yisrael maginamu Adonai Zecharon Yevarech et Beit Yisrael Yevarech et Beis Aharon Yevarech Yirei Adonai Ha'tavnim Imagdolim Yosef Adonai Alechem Alechem V'Alechem Beruchim Atem L'Adonai Osei Shamayim V'Haaretz Shamayim Adonai V'Haaretz Nasani V'Adam Lo HaMesim Hallelujah V'lo Kayonei Duma V'anachnu nevaret Yah Me'ata v'ad olam Me'ata v'ad olam Hallelujah.
Page 737.
Ahti ki yishma Adonai eskoli tachnunoi ki hitazno Yuvayam ekrav v'nichali mafes Unzaresh ha'matzah v'nitzra b'yakaham v'emitzah Ez aleichem lifnei Adonai be'atzos ha'chaim Emanti ki yadaber Ani simeyod Emanti ki yadaber Ani simeyod Ani amharti נדברי לנו ישלם נגונה לחלמות בחצרות בית אדוני בסוכך ירושלים Hallelujah
739.
Hallelujah Adonai kol goyim Shabechu kol ha'onim kim aleinu Chasto b'yem Adonai le'olam Hallelujah Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam ki le'olam chasto Yom Arna Yisrael ki le'olam chasto Yom Runa Be'Zaharam ki le'olam ki le'olam chasto Yom Runa Yirei Adonai ki le'olam chasto Min ha'metzakaros yigon Yismoni Shaare Zedek Modeya Ze hasha'ar l'Adonai tzadikim yavovo Hodecha ki anisani v'tehili lishua Hodecha ki anisani v'tehili lishua Even masu abonim ha'yisol rosh bina Even masu abonim יחד על ירדוס, ולשמחון ולזמק עם יעלם יד עולם הצוהל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מהולל לבת ישבחוס. So at this time we're going to continue with the Psalm for, what day are we today? Sunday. I lost track of the days. With the Psalm for Sunday, which is found on page 185. Hayom Yom Shem B'Shabbat B'Mitzvah Hamikdash. מיעלה בהר אדוני מייקום ממקום קודשו לגבולו שלא נשא לשום ושמעון נשבע במי ספרו. שיעו שרים ראשיכם ושאו בזכי עולם יבואו מלך הכבוד מיעוטם הכבוד אדוני צבאות ומלך הכבוד צלם. Mourner's Kaddish, page 183.
Yitkadal, Yitkadash,
Amen.
V'yamad Yivrak Yerutei, V'yamlik Malchutei, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chayechon, Beit Yisrael, V'agalah, V'bizman Karib, V'yamru
Amen. Yesh Merah V'yolam V'yamayim.
Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitbarar, V'yitramon, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei, Kibisha, V'yitru, Min kol b'chata v'shirata, Tish b'chata v'nechamata, Ta'amiran v'yama v'yamru amen. Yehi shama rabba bin shemaya, V'chaim aleinu v'yarko Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oiseh shalom b'imramah, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yarko Yisrael v'yamru
Amen. So we've now arrived at that point where we're going to do the hakafot. Just got to remember which page it was on. It's not one of those that so let's go back to 499. It should tell us. 498 should tell us right
It's 789.
789? Well, look at that. My gabbai there is helping me, assistant gabbai. There it is. Seder HaKafot, page 789. So for those of you who are joining us online, page 789 in your Sidurim, just because you're at home doesn't mean you can't participate in the sentences that we read and in the singing that is going to occur in just a few minutes. In the meantime, as last night, we open up the Hakafot with readings from different places within the Bible, from the Torah, from the book of Deuteronomy, from Psalms, from Kings, from Chronicles, Isaiah, and then leads us into the opening of the Ark and the removal of the Torah. So page 789, we're going to go round the chapel, and you can do it either in the Hebrew or in the English, whatever's most comfortable for you. Atare saladas, ki Adonai hu Elohim, einav milvado.
You want me to start?
Yeah. We repeat, Leo Seniflas Medolos Levado, Ki Leolam Echasto. Ein Kamocha Elohim Adonai, V'yein Kemasecha.
Yehi kevod Adonai leolam, lesimcha Adonai b'ma'asah.
Yehi kevod Adonai leolam, Yishem Adonai mevarach me'ata v'ad olam.
May the Lord our God be with us as he was with our ancestors, and may he never leave us or forsake us.
Ki Adonai Eloheinu imanu, kasher haya im avoseinu, al yazveinu v'al yitcheinu.
Im roshinu leishenu, v'kabsenu v'chazleinu min hagoyim, le'adon Hashem kodshecha, le'yishtabeach, ve'yitalecha.
V'yimoshienu lo'eishenu, v'kabsenu v'atzilenu, min hagoyim, le'ados Hashem kodshecha, l'kamech b'zeh l'asecha.
Adonai melach, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai
Carry on, Adonai.
Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom.
Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom. Vayinu amorim ratzon lifnei Adon kol, vayehi b'nezon, vayomer Moshe, Kuma
ve'afusu oivecha,
ve'yanusu
v'samecha mipanecha.
הנה עלינו זה קיווינו לו, ויושנו זה עלינו קיווינו לו, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתו. מלכותך מלכות כל העולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור, כי מציון
תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ולדבר אדוני מירושלים.
אהב הרחמים, היטיב ברצונך את
ציון.
תמלך חומות ירושלים, כי לך לבד בטחנו, מלך ערם ונישא, אדון עולמים. So just as last night we've once again arrived at the actual hakafot, there are outside on the table, outside of the chapel, there are, I believe, 2 Sifrei Torot. They have been sprayed down since last night, and we have more spray here. There's also a small Torah here. If somebody would like to come and take it, they can do so. All that we ask is that as you participate in the hakafot, you put on gloves each time, and they're out there also on the table. And so we invite you now to join in the first hakafah on page 791 in taking of the Torah, and we'll rotate them as we as we go through the hakafah, just remembering to replace our gloves each time.
You want the music?
Good. You want to come stand in the front here? Let me just take the small Torah. Oh, do you want to take it?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it, if you don't mind.
Good.
Because those are direct.
start working out again. It's not the Torah said. We're all the same. We always sort of blame everything.
What's the one we use?
What's that?
It's the one we take out when we do the kids.
There you go.
I'm used to this one.
That's yours.
Yeah,
So why don't you just, that's right, you just line up there, anywhere along there. At the moment, I'm okay. I will do in a minute. So I think I'm wondering, we've got, let's see, maybe we should double up on Hakafot. Yeah, let's do two at a time. We'll do two, we'll go around twice. How about that? Then there'll be enough for everybody to rotate. Okay, great. So just make sure that you're well spaced at all times. So let's move down a little bit. We're going to actually run two Hakafot each time. So that way we have enough people and we can rotate. Okay, ready? Ready? Very good.
Today's fashion color?
It suits you, it really does not.
Yes.
Yodea Machasha
Sure, anybody knock off one? Okay, we're limiting our
It's a great sound.
initiatives from one.
Even
to
with
the
that
other
cover, I
package.
couldn't. I mean, you two probably, we haven't.
Yeah, no, I thought this was okay,
Yeah, yeah.
and this is more of a perception.
All right, number 5. Melech halamim Novehadir hatzich Samech v'sovein aneinu b'yom kareinu Ha'ozeh Elohim Okay, last hakafah. Stay in place, guys. Stay in place. We need you, okay? Page 791, the last hakafah.
Okay.
Kadosh v'noira Hoshiach Rachom v'chanon Hatzlichanon Shokein shechokim aleinu b'yom kareinu Tomer tamim Hoshiach Takif nahat Hatzlichanon Takif be'achom aleinu b'yom kareinu Ay, aleinu, aleinu, smi'ayim kareinu Aleinu, aleinu, b'yom kareinu Ay, aleinu, aleinu, b'yom You know, I was thinking to myself just now that with all the zest that went into the dancing and the singing just now, people outside might think there's a party going on here. Please. We've got to be very careful. Because, guys, don't go anywhere. We need you back here.
They're taking off the gloves, they're.
Yeah, you can take the gloves off. Okay. We're going to continue with the service on page 501. I'll wait for my wife if she
I was going to say, this is the tamest hakafot.
Yes, it is. This is what's called the COVID hakafot. We're going to continue on page 501. Adonai, Adonai, Yerachom Echad, Erech Haim, V'rachesed V'eres, Noseh Chesed Anofim, Noseh Avon V'chesha page 501 or 502 in the English, where it says on Yom Tov, Ribbon Shelo, Lamalei Mishelo, Sibida Torah, Rachok Ma'ovina, Vizkayim Banu Mikra Shekasuv, Nachol Abrach כדי שנזכה לחיים טובים ויארוכים לחיים הבא ותשמרנו מעשים רבים שעשו מצווה ישראל של עבוד העולם ואבותינו כבדנו חסד יסובבנו אמן ואני תפילתי לך אדוני יש רצון Elohim Baruch Hasdecha Haneni be'emet yishecha Va'ani tefilati Lecha Adonai yesh ratzon Elohim Baruch Hasdecha Haneni be'emet yishecha Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonaienu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonainu, Kadosh Shemo.
Wow, thanks, Ali. Okay, so what we're going to do is, you can be seated, please be seated. So what we're going to do is, because we don't have a physical minyan in-house, and those of you who are online, we actually can't see you because it's only a one-way feed. You can see us, we can't see you. So we actually can't call people to aliyot, but what we can do is still read the Torah. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do the 3 readings. So the first reading is to close out the cycle of the Torah for this year. So it's V'zot HaBracha, which if you want to follow with us in your Siddur, it is on page 1161, and of course in your Chumashim, there we go, V'zot HaBracha, the beginning of V'zot HaBracha. V'zot HaBracha in your Chumashim is found on page. And it's on page 1202. Okay, 1202 in the Chumashim, or 1161 in the Siddur. All the way to the end. No, all the way to the end. Read it right. Because there's no aliyot, it's just reading. Sure. V'zot HaBracha asher berak Moshe ish Elohim es bnei Yisrael lifnei Mosa vayamar Adonai misinai v'zorach meseil amar al fi yamei ha'paran v'yatam mirvos kodesh mivino eishtos lamar av chavei v'mim kol kadosh al b'yadech v'im tikur raglecha yisa midabrosecha Torah ציווה לנו משה מורש הקהילת יעקב ויהי בשרון המלך פצעי ראשי עם יחד שבטי ישראל יחי ראובן מיעל ילמוד ויהי מסב מספר וזו ליהודה ויאמר שמע אדוני כל יהודה וילמוד ויהנה ידו ורב אלוהו ויזם מצורף תהיה ולוי אמר תומך בורך על איש חסידך אשר ניסית במסע תרבה עולמי וריבם אליו ולמר לו ואיסי בסחב לא הכיר ואספנו לא ידע כי שמרו מצווסך פריסך ינוצרו ירו משפטך על יעקב סלצורסך על ישראל ישימו כתורה ביפיך וכליל על מזבחך ברך אדוני חילוף על ידו תצא מחוץ מסניים כמהו מתענב מן יקומון לבנימין אמר ידיד אדוני שוכן לברך עליו חופף עליו כל היום ובין כתפיו שוכן וליוסף אמר ברך זה אדוני יצא ממגד שמיים מתעם רבץ תחזו ממגד תבואה שמש וממגד גרש ירחים ומרש הרי קדמו ממגד גבעה סודו ממגד ארץ ומלאה ברצון שכניס נתבוסה לרעה שיוסף לקקו נזיר אחד בכושרו עדלו וכנראה כנה בהם עמים ינגח יכתוב אף סיירתהם רבוס אפרים והם אלפי מנשה ולזבולון אמר שמח זבולון בצאצאך ויששכר באוהליך עמים היקראו שמו ישבחו זבחי צדק כי שבע ימים ינקה ושפנו שני תמוני חול ולגלמה ברוך מרחיב גוד גבי שוכן בתורה זרוע ואף בקה וירישיס אלו כי שם חלקס מחוגג צפון ישראל ראשי עם צדקת אדוני עשה משפט טוב עם ישראל ולדן אמר דן גור אריה נבין הבשן נפתלי אמר נפתלי סברות צאן ומלאה בקעת אדוני ים ודורו מישע ולשם ברוך מבנים אשר יהיה רצויך וטבע בשמן רגלו בזה נחושס מן עליך וחיימך וכהנך ישרון רכב שמים בזרחה ובגסה שחקים מעל אלוהי קדם ומתחת זרס עולם ויגרש מפניך יהיה ויאמר שם וישכן ישראל בטח בדד עין יעקב אל ארץ תגם בסירוש אף שמיו יפלתה על אשריך ישראל מי כמוך נוסע באדוני מגן עזרך ואשריך וגעוזך וכחשו אביך לך ואתה במוסמו תדרך ויעל משה מערבה ושמואב על הר נבו ראש הפסגר אשר על פני יריחו ויראו אדוני את כל הארץ אס הגלעד עד דן ואס כל נפתלי ואס ארץ אפרים ומנשה ואס כל ארץ יהודה עד הים האחרון ואס הנגב ואס עתיקה בקעת יריחו עיר התמרים עד צהר ויאמר אדוני אליו זאת הארץ אשר נשבעתי לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב לאמור לזרעך אתננה ושך ביניך ושמה לו תבוא וימוס שם משה עבד אדוני בארץ מואב על פי אדוני ויקבר עשו בגיא בארץ מואב מול בייס פאר ולא ידע איש את קברסו עד היום הזה ומשה בן 120 שנה במוסו לא כעסו אינו ולא נס לך ויבכו בני ישראל את משה ביבוס מואב 30 יום ויגמו ימי בכי אבל משה יהושע בן נון מלא רוח חכמה כי שמח משה את ידיו עליו וישימו אליו בני ישראל ויעשו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה אשר ידעו אדוני פנים אל פנים לכל הסוס והמופסים אשר שלחו אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל עצו ולכל היד החזקה. Please rise. ולכל המראה הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל. חזק חזק ונתחזק. These straps there.
Simchat Torah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai ben yad Moshe.
Torah,
Torah, Torah, Torah, Torah, Torah, Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva
lanu Moshe, Morasha kehilas Yaakov, Morasha kehilas Yaakov. Torah tziva lanu Moshe, Morasha kehilas Yaakov. Maybe seated. Here. So as is the custom on Simchat Torah, we finish the reading of the Torah and we immediately begin the Torah once again. So we're now going to start from Bereshit, the very beginning. You should be able to find it in your Chumashim pretty easily. I think it's page 3 or something. And in the Chumash, in the Sidurim,
1164.
1072.
Oh,
It was a good try, a good try.
1072. I thought I had it nailed. 1072.
Okay, now what we do is the first reading as it is in your Siddur, it's designed for the Monday and Thursday reading, which we'll read tomorrow and again on Thursday, but it's actually not for the Simchat Torah. So we started off as it's here, but we actually continue until the completion of the Shabbat day. So just because if you're following along in the Siddur on 1072-1073, we're going to continue past where it says it there. We actually go to the end of Vayechulu. Okay? So in the Siddur, if you're following in the Chumash, you're going to go to we're going to go to the end of page. So to page 12. Okay? Bereshit bara Elohim es hashamayim yes haaretz va'aretz v'asava v'choshech al pnei tehom v'rach Elohim rachav al pnei hamayim v'yamahim yeh avayehi v'yar Elohim es ha'kitav v'abd Elohim bein ha'or u'bein ha'choshech v'yikol Elohim la'ayam v'la'choshech kara layla Vayere vayvoker yom echad Vayom Elohim yehi rak yevasov hamayim Vayivavtir ben mayim lamayim vayas Elohim es hara הרקיע, והבדיל בין המים אשר מתחת לרקיע בין המים אשר מעל הרקיע, ויהי כן ויקרא אלוהים לאלוקי השמיים, וירא ויבוקר יום שני. ויאמר אלוהים יקבעו המים מתחת השמיים במקום אחד, ותראה היבשה ויהי כן. ויקרא אלוהים ליבשה ארץ רגבי המים קרא ימים. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויאמר אלוהים את אנשי ארץ דשא העשה למזריע זרע עץ פרי למינה שזרע בו על הארץ. ויהי כן. ותוצא הארץ דשא העשה למזריע זרע למינהו, ותעשה פרי אשר זרע בו למינהו. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. וירא ויבוקר יום שלישי. ויאמר אלוהים יהי מאורות ברקיע השמיים להבדיל בין היום ובין הלילה. ויעשו למועדים לימים ושנים, ויהיו למאורות ברקיע השמיים להאיר על הארץ. ויהי כן. ויעש אלוהים את שני המאורות הגדולים, את המאור הגדול לממשלת היום, ואת המאור הקטן לממשלת הלילה. ויעש הכוכבים ויתן אותם אלוהים ברקיע השמיים להאיר על הארץ. ומשל ויום לילה להבדיל בין האור ובין החושך. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. וירא ויבוקר יום רביעי. ויאמר אלוהים ישרצו המים שרץ נפש חיה ועוף יפהף על הארץ על פני רקיע השמיים. וירא אלוהים את התנינים הגדולים ויעש כל נפש החיה הרומסת אשר שרצו המים למיניהם, ויעש כל כנף למיניהו. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויברך אותם אלוהים לאמור פרו ורבו ומילאו את המים בימים, ואוהרה בארץ. וירא ויבוקר יום חמישי. ויאמר אלוהים תוצא הארץ נפש חיה למינה, בהמה ורמס חייתו ארץ למינה. ויהי כן. ויעש אלוהים את חייתו ארץ למינה, ועץ הבהמה למינה, ואת כל רמס האדמה למיניהו. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויאמר אלוהים נעשה אדם לצלמנו כדמותנו, וירדו פתגת עמו בשמיים ובהמה בכל הארץ, וכל הרמס על הארץ. ויברא אלוהים את אדם לצלמו, בצלם אלוהים ברא עושו, זכר ונקבה ברא עושם. ויברך אותם אלוהים. ויאמר להם אלוהים פרו ורבו ומילאו את הארץ, כבשה ורדו פתגת היום ובשמיים וכל חיה הרומסת על הארץ. ויאמר אלוהים הנה נתתי לכם את כל עשב וזרע, זרע אשר על פני כל הארץ, ואת כל העץ אשר בו פרי עץ זרע זרע לכם יהיה לאכלה, ולכל חיות הארץ ולכל עוף השמיים ולכל רמס על הארץ אשר בו נפש חיה, עץ כל ירק עץ לאכלה. ויהי כן. וירא אלוהים את כל אשר עשה והנה טוב מאוד. וירא ויבוקר יום השישי. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השני מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השני כל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השני ויקדש אותו, כי באו שמות מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Simchat Torah, Shaare Zedek Okay, and the final reading for this morning is the Maftir reading. I believe, Billy, you're doing a Haftarah.
You're looking like the deer in the headlights.
Just found out he's doing Haftarah. Okay, so now let's get
What
you
you
down.
talking about, Willis?
Okay, the first one to find the Haftarah in the Siddur gets an extra bottle of whiskey outside.
Yeah, right. I think am I wrong? Is it 1166?
11, let's have a look. 1166.
Oh, not in the Siddur.
Haftarah. Yeah, in the Siddur.
Yeah,
Okay, so
1166.
The Simchat Torah should 116. Looks like you might be right.
Yeah, you know it's
116.
happening.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody has to get him the bottle of whiskey. That's for the Haftarah, but the Maftir is the same one for Shmini Atzeret on 1160.
It is?
1160, the Maftir.
Yeah.
Ayom Shmini Atzeret.
Why the Maftir thing?
Because Simchat Torah, as I said last night, is actually not either a Torah holiday or even a biblically mandated holiday. It's a holiday that it actually evolved as a second day. So what we do is, like in Israel, yesterday was both Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah. It was on the same day. So the actually Torah mandated holiday is Shmini Atzeret. There is no mention of Simchat Torah at all. It didn't exist. So because of that, outside of Israel, when we observe 2 days regardless, in Israel they only observe one, what we do is we actually read the sections of the Torah that would have been read on Shmini Atzeret. So the Maftir portion, which reflects the offerings that the Bnei Yisrael, children of Israel, had to bring on that day in the temple, would be what they brought on Shmini Atzeret. That's why the Maftir.
So this section is the mandated section, and the other two sections were the ones that we.
Correct.
The
Yeah.
beginning and the end.
Yeah, as I said last night, the holiday of Simchat Torah actually evolved. We sort of find it, as I said, around about the 6th century. It suddenly becomes as a festival of its own. It didn't exist before then. There were just 2 days holiday that were observed. Okay, so B'yom Shmini Atzeret. So we've got it in there. B'yom Shmini Atzeret. It's 1160 in your Siddurim. In the book, I think it's on 9.
Yeah.
No, it's 11. 11. If you want to follow it in the Chumash, you'll be on page 936, verse 35. ביום השמיני עצרת יהיה לכם נחזב הדולו ססו וקרבתם אלוהי שח וכניחך לאדוני פרך עלי לאחד כבשים בני שנה 7 תמימים ממחסם ונזכיהם לפלואי ולכבשים מספרם כמשפט ושיחתו שיחת מלבדו התורמין המנחסה ונזכר הילה תעשו לנו במועדיכם לבד מנדריכם ונדבוסיכם ללוזיכם בנכסיכם ונזקיהם ושמעיכם ויאמר משה בני ישראל ככל אשר ציווה אדוני אשמו השם. Billy to come up front to do the haftarah for us.
ויהי אחרי מות משה ואת אדוני ויאמר אדוני אל יהושע בן נון משרת משה לאמור משה עבדי מת ואתה קום עבור את הירדן הזה אתם וכל העם הזה על הארץ אשר אנוכי נותן להם לבני ישראל כל מקום אשר תרדוף כף רגליכם ולכם נתתי כאשר דיברתי על משה מיד מדבר והלבנון הזה והנהר הגדול נהר פרת כל ארץ החיתים ועל הים הגדול מאוד השמש יהיה גבוכם לא יצא ביט לפניך כל ימי חייך כאשר הייתי משה עמך לא אברכה ולא אדבקה חזק ואמץ כי אתה תנחיל את העם הזה את הארץ אשר נשבעתי לאבותם לתת להם רק חזק ואמץ מאוד לשמור לעשות ככל התורה אשר ציווה משה עבדי אל תסיר ממנו ימין ושמאל למען תשכיל בכל אשר תלך לא ימוש ספר התורה הזה מפיך והגית בו ימו ולילה למען לשמור לעשות ככל הכתוב. Page turn. בוא כי תצליח את דרכיך ותשכיל הלא ציוויתיך חזק ואמץ את ארון תלתך כי עמך אדוני אליך בכל אשר תלך ויצר יהושע את שוטרי העם לאמור דיברו בקרב המחנה וצבאו את העם לאמור הכינו לכם צידה כי איש ב3 ימים אתם עוברים את הירדן הזה לעבור לרשת את הארץ אשר אדוני אלוהיכם נותן לכם לרשתה ולראובני ולגדי ולחצי שבט המנשה אמר יהושע לאמור זכור את הדבר אשר
ציווה אתכם משה ואת אדוני לאמור, אדוני אליכם מניח לכם ונתן לכם את הארץ הזאת, ושכם תחתכם ומקניכם ישוב בארץ אשר נתן לכם משה בעבר הירדן, ואתם תעברו חמושים לפני עמכם כל גיבורי חיל, ועזרתם אותם. אני אניח אדוני עליכם ככם, וירשו גם המה את הארץ אשר אני עליכם נותן להם, ושבתם לארץ ירושתכם, וירשתם אותם אשר נתן לכם משה עבד אדוני בעבר הירדן מזרח השמש, יענו את הישוע לאמור, כל אשר ציוויתנו נעשה, וכל אשר תשלחנו נלך, ככל אשר שמענו אל משה כן נשמע אליך, רק יהיה אדוני אלוהיך עמך כאשר היה עם משה. כל איש אשר ימרה את פיך וישמע את דבריך וכל אשר צבאנה יאמר, רק חזק ואמץ.
We're going to continue now with the returning of the Torah to the Ark. It's found on page 534. Please rise.
אל תשיב פני משיחך, כי לקח טוב נשאתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזבו,
Amidah for the Musaf today is found on page 807, and it is recited silently. Page 557. Ein Eloheinu, ein Adonenu, ein Kemokeinu, ein Kemoshienu, Miach Eloheinu, Miach Adonenu, Miach Kemokeinu, Miach Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Kemokeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shetiru Avoteinu Lefanecha, Esketoret Aslamim. We rise for the Aleinu, page 563. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'aseit gedulah Yosef Reshit, shelo asanu l'kagayim כזו בשרה סרון נויים לו חלי עולם מבועד page 565.
Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yama Divra Kirute, V'yamlich Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chaye Dekor Beit Yisrael, V'agala, V'bizman Kari, V'yamru, Amen.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah, V'barach V'olam, Amen.
Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitparar, V'yitraman, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Kedisha, Urichu, Ve'ela min kol brichata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Ve'amiran v'yama v'yamru, Amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlamat rabba min shemaya, V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru, Amen.
Amen.
Oiset shalom v'imramav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru, Amen.
Amen. So once again, Chag Sameach to everybody. I want to thank those of you who are online with us for joining us this morning. And of course, those of you who are here, thank you for your support coming in this morning. I want to thank my new assistant Gabbai, Elizabeth, did a fantastic job there. I'm going to get you reading the Torah soon as well. And to Michael, of course, for his continued support, not only in attendance, but also in the page numbers, the aliyot, and everything goes with that. With Billy for showing off those lungs again in the way he did the trombone today, the musical component for us, and of course the Haftarah. Thank you to everybody for, as we bring these high holidays to a close this evening at 7 o'clock with the Mincha and Mariv. I want to take a moment just to let you know that under very trying conditions, we try to do the very best we could with the constraints that were served to us. And whilst I might be the face during these services, it's certainly without the behind-the-scenes teams that made it all possible. It could not have happened, especially the direction of Billy, who looks a little bit thinner on top and a little bit grayer. But nonetheless, I think we pulled it off. So I hope that you appreciated what we've done. We certainly consider it an honor to have served you at this special time. We conclude. We conclude on page 577 with the Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem kol yitzim nivra, Le'isnaso b'kezo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, We rise for the Kiddush. Ele Ma'adei Adonai. Mikra Kodesh Asher Tikra'u Osam B'Mo'adon. Vayla B'Moshe Ma'adei Adonai B'nei Yisrael. Savri V'Rabosai Baruch Atah Adonai Melech Haolam Barei Pri Hagafen.
Amen.
Chag Sameach to everybody.
I enormous.
I have to thank you for your book.
And oh yeah, that was yesterday.
I love seeing
That was yesterday. And with the Lula
Don't
from
think that
yesterday.
I know what to do.
I have a book that was really, reading that character.
No,
It's upstairs.
Yeah, that.
Oh, you're the choir.
All I want to do
What
is
are you
No,
in?
have
well, oh,
you
that's a great idea.
get a pack of cloves
Our family.
with the stalks on them. And then we'll
Oh.
spend time.
For
We'll prick it with the
holidays.
cloves. It smells so beautiful for a long time to go.
I like it the way.
While we brought
Yeah, but then you're going to
back
shrivel up.
to.
And this way,
whenever we're back
this way we
in
can
there,
have it for
so
supper.
Ezekiel was here.
Um,
There's
when
40,
we
50
go,
people, there are people from Las
I will
Vegas,
make
so.
What fun.
Yeah, well, we can do that. We put the cloves in there. And you can have it for
Well, you know, all I can say is, the Kol Nidre, I don't know, like, this
Pardon
is,
what?
this is from years of repetition.
I know, but now you
I'm so busy, it's
It's
over.
Yeah.
I know, it's so boring.
Yeah,
So we
my
repurposed
wife,
this cover for some
pretty-
chafing dish.
My wife-
Oh, I thought it was from a whiskey bottle or
No,
something.
no.
One
it's
sings,
just- I
the other
tried
doesn't.
them
And she's got all the
Some sort of
knowledge.
serving dish at home and
She's had
says
a
Berk's on
very
it.
orthodox
Well, it's a
upbringing.
fancy one anyway.
I can see that she's very good.
Well, it was funny yesterday when she,
It worked really
Well,
well.
when she read the
I
Hebrew.
think that it wasn't helpful, I don't know, but I think often
Well,
could
we
be
will
good.
talk.
No.
I mean, it's
Oh, really
intriguing
good.
and I'm always anxious to volunteer.
Because our
Of course,
daughter
it's not
actually
pretty.
is like, or has a niece, and she was the singing class, but she refused
That
for
looks a
people
little-
to be
Yeah.
too intimidated, and,
There is-
so,
well,
you know, and we had a gentleman
Thank
who
you
used
for
to
the
come
kind
in, but
words.
I don't know.
It's the truth.
And,
So he didn't talk to me.
also, I should go up to
No.
this,
Yeah, Zoom services
Oh,
are better.
Yeah, I had to fill in there. Ben did remind us that
But that's so
there was no way.
pre-COVID.
Maybe,
she could-
any idea when they're going to repair the ceiling?
You know, it's the irony.
Yeah.
I worked 7 years as the editor of
He
an
especially,
online website for the Ministry of Education, how to do online
I'm
teaching.
surprised she didn't.
And I retired 3
She
years
might be-
ago.
Oh my God, you're so kid.
I know,
She might
they
be-
rehired me. I mean, it's like, so.
Well, there were a bunch of people.
Oh,
But
good
it's,
for you.
yeah, but it's, and it's, and I just sit in my little room.
Yeah.
You know what? I spent years promoting
That's
online.
okay. It was good. It was good.
Online grading. My online grading is actually better than in-place grading.
Have a
The
good
online
day,
grading
Michael.
is phenomenal. Because I use this software which collates all the errors so they get to know the categories, where they're weak. What categories do it. Well, now I'm teaching, I teach in a French stage, and I used to teach architecture, and they discovered that I speak English, and it's, I teach English as a second language.
You know, I think that the Jewish school
Oh, no, it's
system
not
did a
really Jewish, it's
phenomenal
totally
job
class
of
that is,
people need to, because they had their kids in school the whole time. But the non-Jewish school system, the government failed. In that, I'm talking the public, I'm talking at the elementary school level. I mean, there should have been packages that was standard for every kid in the province and have them doing stuff. I have friends
Doing this
who are
though
telling me they have little kids.
helps us
They are
sort of
so, the kids are so glad to be back in
visualize
school
and
and busy and their minds are engaged. They are like,
where I'm
so,
fuzzy.
they really dropped the ball.
I-
What we want the other
I can tell you, having,
Because
as
we
I
do a
said,
lot of
done this for years,
And if
on
we only wanted
the
miracles,
ministerial level, when
it's
all of a sudden the
Yeah.
school announced that they were going online, I know my department. I mean, I know they can't do it. And I just attended a departmental meeting this week, and they were all saying, well, you know, I give my students an hour. And I felt like, the course is 2.5 hours long. What do you do? Well, I know they'll get bored, and everything, which is translates. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I don't know how to get up 2.5 hours. We do it, we continue.
So it's
Yeah,
very funny,
exactly.
because I have a cousin in the
But it's
States,
not,
and she's, she teaches
That's
a
why I
law,
had no
she's a law
problem
professor.
when we,
Right.
And she's gonna have to go on Zoom. And so, and I had just called her like that,
So when you call
and
us,
we
we're
said
asking,
to her, any
and you said to them, you know,
set up
full
your
well.
Zoom, and we're doing a mock
Yeah, but,
Zoom
you know,
with
at the
us.
time, yeah, but, you know,
She
you know, it
said
isn't.
that she came in
So,
so much
you
better
know, back in
prepared.
advance, what we
And
had,
she said it
we
was
should
so
go
much better
forward
because
by
she
having
had a
music,
chance to
especially
figure out what
music.
worked and what
Why
didn't
wouldn't
work.
there
And
be feedback?
Yeah, so-
one of the things that my daughter said,
So you think
like
it's
ours or
better
whatever,
to
but
have
we had
time
our daughter on the
before
call, she said,
Orthodox
you've got the chat open, they
They-
can chat
hold
with
on
each
to
other,
it
she
until
said,
they
stop that. And so that's what she did, she made it that they could only chat to everybody or to her. And she
Yeah.
said that it was so much better because people were not like having these.
Side discussions.
Well, the thing that I found fun is, I did one chapter, I took a New York Times video on discrimination against Chinese through Trump, talking about the China virus. And then I have a friend who lives in Bridgeport, Connecticut, who's a Chinese immigrant. And I just asked him to visit.
Yeah.
He was in Bridgeport. And we had another good friend of his who lives in Denver. He came on and he left about 20 minutes later. And
But the
he wrote me
original
afterwards and he said,
rationale
you know, I forgot how much I hated black
No,
people.
I'm leaving this semester, but I was teaching remotely last semester, and I'm sure I'll do again in January. So it was difficult, but I
saying
managed.
this has been,
What do you teach?
So I teach history.
Oh,
2,000 years?
And I had all history courses last semester. This coming semester, I'm gonna have 3 sections of quantitative methods. So I have to figure out how to do that. Yeah.
So our son was doing, massage therapy.
Ooh.
And he had an exam. And he did it with his girlfriend who's a nurse, so he was at the hospital. And it had to be at that time, and of course, he lives alone. So he had to do this shoulder massage on his foot. And they told him the negative feedback was you didn't speak to your
And
clients
now
enough.
we're seeing very interesting.
Because the first is massage yourself with a dog.
Anyways, they're now in lab, but the PPE they have is the same, but I mean, some courses and quantitative
And so
is
what
a
the
different
rabbit
course.
said to anybody.
Yeah,
So there have been people
actually
that did that
does
last
the
semester,
practice
so
on
I
the
will
whole
talk to them and
is,
see what.
and if they
What
hear
works?
See,
success
what works, what I did last
to
semester
observe
is I typed up
So
lectures.
what you're getting now.
I posted them so
somebody
they could
else
read
is
them, and
doing
then
another.
I had
So
Zoom
people will
sessions.
fly, let's say, to
I didn't
Israel
go for the whole
for,
hour
let's say,
and
Shabbos,
15
2
minutes.
days.
I went
Full
for
Saturday, this was one day. And observe
40,
it,
45
and
minutes
the
or so,
second
and
day,
what I
which is the
did
second day for
is
English.
I went
But it's
over
still
the main ideas,
Not young to finish,
and I said for the details, go read the lecture.
And
Yeah.
how long will be a second day before?
About half an hour.
By their other, by their friends in shore, the second day.
You know what,
It's
before
perfectly
you go back,
permissible according to the chief rabbi.
what we should do is
So now we're seeing
make a Zoom appointment with you, and I'll show you what I do and see if you
That
can adapt it.
would be an excellent idea.
Because what I do is, and I've done this for years, I maintain my own course website. And there's a new web page for every course that I do. So every student gets on, there's a web page, and then when we have breakout sessions, there are specific instructions
But we still
for what you do in the breakout session.
Conservative and
And then
egalitarian?
half the time, I used to think I was going to go all the time, but it's killing me with
But they were very traditional, so in other words, even though they were egalitarian.
half the time you have to record your breakout session
So
and
you can
send it to
monitor
me,
that.
so I can monitor them
And the
all.
one in Arizona?
And currently,
You have
no,
No, that would be difficult for four courses.
and, but what I'm doing, like, for me, they get part of their grades on speaking. So on the speaking ones, you have to send me the recording, and you don't get a grade.
Yeah, that's how you
It's
can
as simple
know.
as that. Yeah.
One of the things that I'm gonna wanna do with the CUM, there's a very wide range of abilities with regard to math.
So were you
Yeah.
So I'm gonna want to make myself available for one-on-one.
And you might wanna give them like a refresher slide, like at the beginning, because Lauren sent that, Jordan had to do, some mechanics thing, and Lauren did very well in it, so she took her notes, she carried them down to
Yeah.
our daughter took them for our son,
Yeah.
she took her notes, she organized them, and she gave them to him before the course started, because we knew it was gonna be hard for him.
Right.
So she could show them the math, so that she went in and at least he had cheat sheets and stuff that he could refer back to as the math got harder and harder.
Do you, there's also software now for math notation, I don't know how, because I know that, that's its own,
Yeah.
its own special field.
I wanna try to figure out how I can write and they can see it.
Yeah, whiteboard on Zoom.
Because we practiced that with,
With Joe? Oh, yeah.
Joe, you know,
So they have 5 days so that it's,
Yeah.
they have extra day of full moon.
So we don't wanna practice on that.
You need to find somebody like your nieces or nephews or that could, you need somebody with that generation.
So one, so it's an extra day of full
Right.
moon, but it's not
But
extra
you
day.
need, like,
of-
Lauren was very helpful because she was critical of my cousin and she said, oh, you know what, that's not gonna fly because, you know, I've been in lectures and this, that, and the other. I don't know, I'm sitting in lectures all day.
So for the most part, we're
I
successful.
should talk to people who have actually been students online.
Yeah.
The other thing that you can do, and it's free, is, Simchat Torah will give you their courses. They're free, they will give you the entire course, no hassle, to a professor,
Okay.
and they will give you help.
Right.
But at least you might get the math piece, because I think
Obviously,
like,
when
you're
you
gonna
talk
want,
about
you wanna be able
resources,
to
it's
be
not
confident
just
in that, not that,
financial.
mechanics of the math.
Yeah.
You know, and if they have the sheet that they can do beforehand, or, and some kids
But
will.
they're also gonna have textbooks.
Yeah.
And do the textbooks have, they're online?
There is one that's online, yes.
I've been using an online textbook for grammar, and I love it because it has these interactive exercises which are self-grading.
All of them was preying upon people's
And
not knowing who he was.
once you have the self-grading
One of them was
exercises,
character Borat.
and
Another one was
they've got nice
Bruno was
displays, I mean, I'm giving every single point I did
And the third one
once
was,
in my old PowerPoint, which I have up as PDFs,
in the hood.
and then you
Bling,
go on the
bling,
book,
with the tracks.
and then they have
Yellow
to
one,
do
yellow one,
exercises in the
yellow,
book,
red,
and they write
red
down
with
groups.
big shoes.
And it took
Bling and-
about 2 weeks,
Everything.
you know,
And he would
before
talk
the
to people
attitude
and say
came in,
something.
like, is this gonna be bullshit?
And one of them.
Unto, oh, this is a real course.
Well, yeah, it has to
Talking
be.
about trying to
And,
get someone
Online
to buy into his adventure.
moving on until you score
He wants them
No.
to.
No, you can do that, you can set it, I've got 2 settings, I've got, most of the exercises, you can just go on until you get a grade if you want, but I haven't told them that the grade doesn't count, the only thing they're getting marks on is the I don't wanna push it.
Right.
And then there's a unit test at the end of each grammar point.
What do you mean it's your invention?
The first grade that you get is
traveling
the
time
grade
with
that you
skateboard.
get, but it's only worth
That was a
1%,
movie.
so I mean, even if you say,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
that's
really
super
cool,
cool,
it's fantastic.
really, really, really
Yeah,
distressed.
so it's just a movie.
She said,
Why are you gonna make
I got
it? That's
a
where you
12
come
or something, and I said, what did you do? What went wrong? She said,
Forgive me, but
I didn't realize that I couldn't come back to it, so I just laughed.
Litz
And it graded me for what I had done. And I said, I just said to her, I said, do it again.
That's where you
And we were on Zoom, it wasn't even the project.
Everybody has their own-
She wrote
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Come on Zoom. And, she did it and she showed me, I said, share your screen with me, and I said, you got 100%? She said, yes, yes, I got 100%. It'll appear on your grade sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, it'll appear.
So with regard to
Michael
this,
Jordan
you
has his own country?
um,
No.
tends to be
It's
easier
not Michael
for me
Jordan.
because
That
it's
guy's in everything. He's
things
got
like
shoes,
hours
he's got got the shirt, and he's got his own country.
medium
No,
or
it's not
mode
that.
and stuff like
Jordan's
that.
a country.
As long as you're good at arithmetic,
Where's
you do
Jordan?
that well, and then
It's
it
in the
gets
Middle East.
harder in the second half.
You joke,
As you
no,
start
it's really
building on
Middle
what
East.
you've
We're
already
Africa.
done.
Speaking of which, where's Africa?
So, but the other thing is that
It's looking
it's
for the
not
country of the
fake.
United Nations, right? He's like,
So,
oh, walk around. Goes,
Typically, you're
Africa's
supposed
not a
to
country.
take
He says,
QM
"Oh, I'm
when
not
you
does they
in
know?"
the fall. So I'm gonna have a lot of
It's all this
students
stuff.
in
So,
the
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
when someone catches on to
It's all
stupidity,
about the
it's not
challenge.
funny.
Yes.
So when they continue with them, it's funny.
Hear it from
That
a
was one
different
of those
voice,
characters.
sometimes
Yeah,
they just pick it up so much
All right.
faster because of that.
and if they're willing to do some
For
work,
lunch and then back to them.
also, if they're willing to.
And some people are gonna fail, I mean, you know, no matter what you do, there's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's, you know, people
Back,
fail.
Robinson bought the back, the two that they use, and
Anyway.
thank us very much for their use.
So they bore tutorial.
Thank you
Yeah.
both for,
Do they
pleasure.
pay us for it?
I couldn't ask you. No, it's not like it for like the Castell or the Pinster.
Bye.
Bye, good to see you.
Bye.
Or you know, if the Waldorf or one of these institutions asked for either a few people that just go together and.
So it's just the first time that they've done this?
Yeah,
So they've done it because of COVID and they went in someone's backyard apparently?
exactly. Exactly. They were in the backyard and it was just there so they could read Torah and they could have a few off on. It wasn't short, wasn't it? They weren't competing with anybody.
Alright.
He was my professor and my main professor at Concordia, I never could correctly charge.
And he was a good professor?
Oh, yeah, he's very good. Got a very dry sense of humor.
Oh yeah?
But
I like that.
yeah, I used to find him quite funny. Some people didn't, but I did. And by the way, he was the one I was telling him, because he asked what we did over the holidays. So I was telling him about what we installed, you know, the system for live streaming. So, you know, he's Orthodox. And they said to me, well, he said, you know, done right, anything's possible. So I said, you know, if you're talking about you use your electricity on Shabbos, you know, with the timer, it's the same thing. He said, in today's world, done properly, anything's possible. And that's the sort of response that you want from people. Not saying, they're like the reform, you know, they're
Yeah, but you also were told them in Naphtali, and
Yeah.
and these people are in the community, right? And your other colleagues?
We haven't discussed it. We haven't. The college won't go there in any of our meetings because they've got to deal with Lisa and they've got to deal with the reconstructionists. You know, so they're not going to go there. One-on-one might be a different thing when we talk about it, but certainly not.
I think you're just working from
there.
So basically what you try and find a
It's
common
beautiful,
ground.
David.
Well, you might as well, makes it more productive.
But where they don't, where something are not happy with me is that they know that I won't do anything that I can't support from a halachic standpoint. And that's what gets them annoyed because you know, because people say, well, look, the Shaare Zedek thing, why can't we do that?
I'm unclear. If you're doing something from a halachic standpoint, what is it?
Because they won't move in that direction. Any of the Orthodox synagogues live stream doesn't get that. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter even if it's 100% in compliance with how they will do it.
So it makes them look bad, basically.
Basically, yeah. And that was one of the issues you had.
But the issue isn't the fact that you choose to do it. The issue is that the fact that they don't quite agree with you whether it's halachically.
They say it's not in the spirit of Shabbat.
Well,
It's
yeah.
in the spirit of Yom Tov. We know that. There's nothing we can do about it. That's not the question. The question is, does it violate halakha?
Well, when in doubt, there's always the principle of something zion, you know, it looks bad. Moritz, what is it, Moritz zion?
Ma'arikayim. But Ma'arikayim doesn't actually play in here. But what does play in here, there's a concept in the Talmud that's called Kocha Ve'etera Odif, which means that the strength of leniency is always preferred. So in other words, you have to try and find a way to be lenient, because that's what the community needs. The community doesn't need stringencies. But we, in the 19th and 20th and 21st century, in the Orthodox community, have gone the other way.
Yeah.
Yes,
I've seen
more
that.
stringencies than more leniencies.
my brother-in-law is in that,
Yeah. And there's no basis for it in halakha.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, we're in an unprecedented situation in all of our lifetimes. We have a pandemic. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? We're either gonna close down or we're gonna do something that's to reach out.
Or you're gonna be like, unfortunately, those idiots in my brother's-in-law's shul, and he's very frustrated. You're gonna sit down, you're gonna take off your mask, you're gonna, pray very loud, and so far, nobody's gotten sick.
But the ones in New York are in the newspapers every single
Yeah,
day.
But
now.
that's more luck than anything else.
The ones in New York are not so lucky, and
Right.
they're in the newspapers every day,
Yeah.
and they're in your face and flouting the law, and it's just inevitable that there's gonna be.
But if we go back to your brother-in-law,
Yeah.
okay, who his community, I'm assuming, puts themselves out to be from, to be Orthodox.
He's in the little,
But in
okay.
principle, that's
Yes,
what they would pay
yes.
themselves. One of the basic principles is Din of the Malchut Dinah, the law of the land in which you live has to come first. It always rules.
Right.
So if the law is you cannot do this and you must then you have to wear a mask, you have to do this, by not doing it and then things sitting there thinking you can pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu,
Well, they sit there and they start giving him arguments about, once you're sitting down, you can take off your mask. That's not the law.
No.
But that's the law that they figure, and he's very, very, very conflicted. And then they started doing services in his backyard, and it's getting to be tough, really tough. Meanwhile, my other brother-in-law in New York City does taharas, and the amount of taharas every day that he's got to do is mounting.
it's
You
hard.
know, he's doing land office business.
He's doing what?
He's doing land office business, a good American expression.
I don't know, what does that mean, land office?
That, when the land office would open, it was free land. It would just be, overwhelmed with business. He's got, taharas were always for something him. It was an honor, and he got a little bit of money, and that was it. And like 2 or 3 months ago, it was becoming a major source of income. He was doing like 10 bodies a day.
Wow.
And it was just a horror.
Wow.
And when they got COVID, they would do whatever they do, but they would not open the bag.
Yeah, no, that's
And and he says it's going back up.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's some funeral homes in New York doing 1,000 burials a day, 1,000 bodies a day, or is it? They had no place to put the bodies until they could get the graves up.
It's horrible. And it's gonna, I don't think it's gonna come back. I mean, the one thing I've gotta say is, the amount of cases is rising, but the amount of deaths.
What this guy was saying yesterday,
It's not
this
gonna
guy
go
was telling me, he was saying what you're gonna see is, he says you're gonna see with COVID, it's going to wax and wane. It's gonna be cyclical. It's gonna go like this, so it'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go up, but each time it goes up, it'll go up less.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the next year to 18 months, it will automatically get to a point where it'll be just another seasonal flu, with consequences, of course, like any other flu. But he says at the moment, it's going, that's decided going like this. And he said that's how viruses actually work once they come into the society.
And they're in, there's not much we can do about
Like
it.
you go back, he said you've got to ride it. He said there's nothing you can do. You can try all this other stuff. He said yes, masks are good, distancing is good, you should do that. He said you're not going to be able to harness this and do anything with it. It's going to have to ride itself out.
Well, I can say this without being political. Let's see, after the elections, if it's a Trump or Biden White House. Because if it's a Biden White House, there's going to be a lot more coordination on masks and distancing. It'll be interesting to see if it has any effect.
He has an uphill battle because, like Trump or hate Trump, there's a reason why you have anti-maskers. It's not just because he sets that example. You have people in the United States who feel very strongly about their rights and their individual freedoms, and
But
again, love Trump or hate Trump. To me, I don't believe that Biden will magically be able to transform that, because the notion of it is quite simple for those people who get it and say, I'm going to put on a mask because it's the right thing to do. But you have really a surprise that a lot of people, like millions and millions of people, who are uncomfortable with it politically because of their rights, they don't believe in a conspiracy theory, on the continuum, there's a ton of people for 10 different reasons,
Yeah.
but all of those reasons, they feel very, very, very strongly. And it was before Trump, and it'll be after Trump.
Yeah.
And you have it here as well.
For sure.
Yeah, but you
One-
know,
one
again,
thing
the
that-
argument is, do you use a seatbelt? You know, which is also restraining your freedom.
So there's that, and the other thing that I was thinking of is, do you stop at a red light?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all
But-
about
but-
safety.
but in this room, you're preaching to the choir.
No, I
Yeah,
understand, but I'm
absolutely.
sure the people who are opposed to wearing masks, they probably do stop at red lights.
Yes.
So then you
Yeah.
could say,
Yes,
why?
but there's something culturally about, and listen, I lived in Texas. It was really
Right.
an eye-opening experience in many ways. And when I lived in Dallas, it was, at the time I got there, it was illegal to drink and drive.
Mhm.
The law was rescinded, and it made it legal to drink and drive,
Well,
so long as you weren't over the limit.
Mhm.
And now today, again, I believe that law was changed and now it's illegal again. But during the time that I lived there, you could actually see people with an open container, and that was all about my God-given right to kill myself.
Right, well, I
And others
think,
with you.
I think.
I mean, this is well beyond Trump. This is.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump aggravated the
Mhm.
situation. He made
So
an
it's-
example that didn't need to have been made.
And
Yeah,
it's not
it's
a question of absolutes also. I mean, obviously, like you said, there's always going to be a significantly large minority that feels this way, but it could be reduced somewhat by somebody in the presidency who's taking a different stand, or it could be augmented by somebody like Trump.
And what drives me
In terms
nuts
of scale.
with
Dan, are
our
you gonna go
people
upstairs?
yeah.
Are you
is,
tired?
No?
Okay.
what drives me nuts with our people is simply the people who sort of say, yes, but he moved the capital to Jerusalem.
So what?
He deserves our vote.
You know what? You can't, if you're an American, you cannot base voting for a president on one piece of foreign policy. If you're going to do foreign policy, it's important. You've got to look at overall what the foreign policy was. And what about for the country? I mean, never mind what he did to Jerusalem. Jerusalem survived before the capital, it will survive after the capital. But what about the people living in America? What about the country in America?
That's you.
There's you know who Thomas Friedman is, right?
Yeah.
Did you read a book that he wrote that's called "There Used to Be Us"? He co-wrote it with Michael Mandelbaum.
No.
It's unfortunately the book is 10 years old now. There's more people would read it, but basically the premise of the book was the United States was at the forefront of leadership in terms of advancements,
Right.
embracing new technologies and etc. And whether we like it or not, the United States has slid in terms of education and civic advancements and civic roles and etc. And they were lamenting it. So now that they've got that lament out in the first chapter, what are we going to do about it? So the rest of the book is devoted to, here's this area that we can help in, and they break it down into 300-400 pages of examples and civic people and scientific communities and environment, etc. as a roadmap as to what can be done to try and improve. But culturally, I don't think the United States, long before Trump, has recognized that what they think is the apex and the best examples in the world is, well, that used to be us. But the United States really has been slipping now for a generation. And it's long before. I mean,
I ended up reading the H.R. McMaster's new book, Battleground. You should read it. You really want to see, people say Trump did this and Trump did that. There's not many people that know more than McMaster, H.R. McMaster. And he talks about...
the actual title is Battleground.
Yeah, he just came out with the book. And it's an amazing book. He keeps you riveted the whole way along because he talks about it. He served...
You have it a hard copy or electronic?
I have it in hard copy. And he served the presidents. He's a general, whatever it is, a 2-star, 3-star general.
Right.
And he talks about the huge errors, the huge missteps that the Obama administration and the Clinton administration made that has caused this downward trend because of who they thought they were and what they thought the country was from a political standpoint. And they ignored so many missteps. He's not saying that Trump's right. I'm not talking about Trump. But he said this started already, what you're talking about started already
The decline.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He said it can be reversed, there's no question it can be reversed, but, and I'm just like sort of that third way through it. If you get a chance to get it, you should really,
And I was feeling this way going back quite a few years ago, and then in the last 10, 15 years I've traveled quite a bit for my work, and amongst the places I was visiting was China. It was really amazing. You know, damn China for 1,000 things, and they're probably all fair. But some of them is that the work ethic. I mean, people just work hard.
yeah.
And I remember the first time I went to a Chinese factory, and they said, no, don't buy this from us, right? Because we're not that good at it. It shocked me, because you would never hear anyone in North America ever say that. And then the other thing was, oh, you want to buy this? Yeah. But what is it that you would like to be different? Oh, can you take this, move it sideways, and move this, and things, and how can you make this go faster, and can you fit like this? The entire psyche in the whole country is about improvement, and it's ingrained from the youngest child to the oldest adult in every facet of their lives.
And that's because it's respect and honor. It's their own honor for what happened.
Bang on the money.
And that's what it's all about.
And respecting the elders and grandparents and learning, and the kids are not sloughing off the afternoon. They are, you can blame them of being over-programmed, but these kids, when they go to sleep at night, they're exhausted. But they're energized, and the ballet, and the music lessons, and it's not just like, ooh, they're like, you know, so my kids went to Royal West for high school.
Right.
You've all heard this, but I repeat it. You know, an A- is an Asian F. That was the common perception in the high school was the Asian kids are all super on task, super working hard, and they've got demanding parents, and every one of them are going to be, and the ones that are successful, and they're working hard, and they deserve what they get.
That was our people a generation ago.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. Is that in the United States?
Education is the way to get.
You know, and
Respect.
you know, I have a son who has Asperger's, and I would be looking at schools and saying, God, I would have loved that.
We were carrying the Torahs around.
Not him.
wearing gloves.
You know, we finally got him into a school that made sense, and it took me a long time to understand, you know, my goals, my values are not his. And, yeah, you know, and it's generational. I mean, the generation of Baron B is gone.
They can do it.
All right. Thanks so much.
I agree with everything you said.
Sorry?
I agree with everything you said. I agree with everything you said. And you know, I listen to people, I call people that are from Shaare Zedek that now live in Boca or whatever, and they say, oh, in our Boca little community, it doesn't affect us. And I hang up the phone and I say, you're so stupid. It might not be in your community in Boca. It's the culture of the land. So it might not be there today, but the culture of the people are crazy. I am a Trump supporter. I like what he's done in the 4 years. I don't like being lied to by politicians. He's not that way. Yes, he's egotistical and he's a narcissist and all of that. But the culture of America is meshugana beyond meshugana. So you're not really safe in your Boca community because the culture of the people, if the media can, for crazy things, the media, which is driving the heart and the soul of the public, is not honest, and is not really, no matter what media, is not telling the truth, then the lowest common denominator of man eventually is going to feel that.
One of the things that I would agree, Norm is obviously someone who doesn't like Trump, is that what Trump, as a leader, as a role model, has been the worst, is divisiveness. And he's very much responsible for the toxic environment.
I agree.
Was it there in the United States already? Yes.
He just brought it out.
No. He didn't bring it. He put oil on the fire, as the Quebecers
Quebec
Yeah,
expression
I
of,
agree.
and he made it into a bonfire.
I agree.
And shame on him.
But the issue is that you spoke of China. The culture of the people, if you're from this part of China, or that part of China, or that part of China, you have the same culture. The culture might not be the right word.
But it's not just China. China's one example. I mean,
Right.
you go to so many countries in the world.
Thailand,
You know,
Asia.
you know that Sheila and I traveled a lot.
Right.
Before we went away, Sheila was in the hospital. She told her boss that she was quitting, right? She was leaving, and her and her husband were going to go and travel. And this is the woman who, for the whole time that Sheila worked there, she was Sheila Fishbone, fish steam, fish cone, fish, but she couldn't get it right, right? Because
Oh
all
my
fish,
God.
right? And that woman told her husband that Sheila and her husband were going to go traveling, and like an idiot, she repeated to us his reaction. So here we're going to go away traveling for a couple of years, go visit places in the world, right? And he goes, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Yeah.
There's so much to see right here in the States.
Yeah, right. That's the mentality. Most people in the United States don't even have a passport.
Yeah. So I think I can
They
leave this
think
here just like
Montreal
this.
is in
So
Vancouver.
that's our conduit to the.
Yeah, and I think what we need to do, we need to talk about how we're going to make that permanent.
Well, yeah, so.
And do we need something really that size for
No.
that?
But what I knew for sure is we needed a mini computer to power the monitor. What I don't know is if we can have one mini computer that can transmit 2 feeds, because really there's almost nothing. All you need is one streaming thing to show the linking to the stream spot page, and the other one is to show the yurt size. But if we have to have 2 tiny little computers, then that's what we will get.
Yeah, you might even be able to get away with to be able to mount an iPad. And just to know that we're on and everything's running fine.
The only reason that I don't, unless it's hardwired, I just want.
Yeah, hardwired. I'm saying hardwired.
I don't really care what it is. I know that someone was telling me that there's a little mini computer called Nux. I wasn't familiar with the brand, but it's basically a small laptop about this big. I don't really care. But we're on the road. Yeah.
Good job, Yeshikov.
Thank you. Your voice is okay?
Yeah.
Bye.